Russian forces have launched another early morning aerial assault on Ukraine's capital, killing at least 3 people, including 1 child. At least 10 people were wounded in this latest missile strike, which also damaged apartment buildings, a medical clinic, and a water pipeline. Most of the injuries are believed to have been caused by falling debris from the intercepted missiles. Moscow has launched almost daily attacks on Kyiv in recent weeks, including a surprise daytime aerial assault on Monday. For more, we're joined by our correspondent, Max Chanda, who is in Kyiv. Max, what more can you tell us about these latest attacks?
Right, Terry. So this was another short night for residents here in Kyiv, with another nightly air assault that turned deadly. Assault that we have seen so many times over the last couple of weeks, ever since the beginning of May, since the Russians stepped up these attacks. Now, last night at around 2:49, the air alarm was sounded, and just a couple minutes later, we could hear air defense going to work here all over the city with loud explosions being heard. According to the authorities, a mixture of cruise missiles and ballistic missiles was sent, and according to what we know now, at least 3 people have died, a woman and 2 children, and another 12 people injured. Now, from the people who died in that attack last night, they are believed to have been on their way to a shelter, which was not accessible at the time, and they were killed by falling debris. This is something that the mayor of Kyiv, Vitaly Klitschko, said would be investigated now.
Again and again, Max, we've seen apartment buildings, medical centers, schools destroyed in Russian attacks. What does Moscow stand to gain militarily from striking civilian targets?
Right. So, first of all, we do not know exactly what Moscow is aiming for and what they're actually hitting. It's clear that they are accepting casualties. They are accepting that residential buildings, hospitals get damaged and people get killed. Oftentimes, as far as we know, the air defense here in the capital Kyiv and other places in Ukraine is quite successful in taking out missiles and drones. You can imagine these are large objects flying at high speeds at high altitude that get hit by a Patriot battery, for example. They explode into huge chunks that are set on fire, and then they crash into the roofs of buildings, setting them on fire, injuring and killing people there. So that's usually how these cases happen, from falling debris. That being said, we don't know exactly what the Russians are targeting here. Could be military targets, could be air defense. By stepping up the assaults, some believe that they are testing the Ukrainian air defense, trying to find out where the positions are, trying to potentially find a way to move around it. Probably not the priority, but part of the equation also is trying to set a blow to the morale here of the people, trying to scare them, which certainly also has an effect, given what we saw last night as well.
Max, thank you very much. That was our correspondent, Max Chanda, in the Ukrainian capital, Kyiv.